So our puzzle is completely scrambled, and we're going to start with the cross, the first 4 edges, and I'm going to do it around the green face here. Now this is an advanced puzzle that takes a lot of intuition and a lot of practice. I'm going to try to help you the best I can. I learn the best when someone explains it to me really simply. So the first thing we want to do is build up these 2 red pieces and put them here next to the red center between the green and red. And we have a lot of room right now, which is great, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Let's see here, let's go over here to this side, to the yellow side. We have a lot of red edges here, and so what we need is we need a red outer circle that we can place down here. And once we place a red outer circle here, then we can just rotate this layer and it'll be in place. This is stationary and these outer circle pieces move. So let's find a red outer circle piece. It'd be helpful if there was one on the top layer, but there's not, so that's okay. Let's see here. Here's a piece. Here's a red outer circle piece. We're gonna turn this 180 degrees so it's on the same face. And now we can just turn this, and there we go. We're ignoring this red-blue edge piece. We're just focused that these 2 are red. So it's not next to the red center. There we go. Now when we build our green pieces and our green-red edge, we'll be able to just slide it into place. So let's look for our green and red edge, and we're going to be building the green pieces around it. It's up here. Alright, so remember, we're not worrying about these pieces underneath the red side right now. We just want to put the green pieces there. And we have a lot of room, so we're not worried about messing anything else up. So I think what I'll do first is, rather than think about putting these 2 green pieces next to this, I'll first pair up green pieces that look like this edge and this outer circle piece. Let's look here. Okay, I want this to turn next to here, but it won't do it on this face. But on this white face, we can pair up this outer circle piece with this piece. Alright, so that's paired up there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move it to the top. Because what we want to do is we want to place this on either the orange or red face, so that then we can turn this piece onto it. We can't do it from here because it turns this outer circle piece with the side. So let's put that to the top, move it out of the way, and return this. That's just practice in case I don't want to mess anything up. What I need to do is place it on, I'm going to place it on the orange face right here. All right. Now, I'm going to take this, where's my, here it is. Here's the red green. I'm going to turn it from the top to the same face, and that way it'll match up. All right. That's what we wanted. Is our first step was to put in these 2 red pieces next to the red center between red and green. And then our next step was to pair up all these greens next to the green-red edge. So what we can do now is simply place this to the top, put it above where it needs to go, above the red side, and now we can just roll it in. And that's our first edge. And I'm going to do that, I'll do that one more time, and then we'll skip ahead. let's do it for the white face. Now, on the white face, all we need here is one white piece here, because we're going to be building this entire group of pieces to roll in. So we've already got a white piece there. If there wasn't a white piece there, you'd simply find one from the bottom layer. So yeah, let's build up the green and white edge piece. All right, here's the green and white edge piece. We already have an outer white piece next to it, which comes in handy because once this is all green, it'll simply roll into place. So we need to build the other green pieces next to it. We need this to be green and we need this to be green. So like I did before, I'm gonna build two pieces that are this shape that are green next to each other first, and then I'm gonna pair those next to this. Here's a green edge. It's on the red face right here. It's paired up with this, so we wanna move this to either the white or yellow face so that we can swing an outer green piece next to it. So we can move it to the top. I see here we already have some green pieces on the top. So let's slide one of these down so that we can match an outer circle piece to it. I see an outer circle piece here, let's see. Yep, and that's on a yellow or white face, so it moves. And we're not breaking anything down here. So let's move it so that we can swing this down. And then we can pair up these two pieces. All right, and so next what we want to do now is we want to find our green and white edge piece here where we already have this white outer circle piece combined with it. And what we want to do is we need to put this on another face. We want to put this on the orange or red face so that these two stay together and we're only turning the outer piece so we can match this next to it. So to do that, we turn it to the top, move it out of the way, and replace this practice. So we see here that this piece separates from this outer layer here. And so we just need to put these two pieces we built down here. And there we go. Now we've built this edge, and what I like to do is put green to the top, and we move it above where it needs to go, above the yellow face. And then we just roll it in since we've already built this white piece down here. All right, so those are the first two edges. I'm going to finish the last two, and then we're going to fast forward and get to these middle layer edges. So our green cross is finished. You'll notice that these four edges are solved. So our next step is going to be to solve these four middle layer edges, and it gets a little bit trickier from here, but hopefully I can break it down for you and we'll do it. Let's start with the white and red edge here. Now what I like to do is, for example, on this red face, first thing I want to do is I want to build two red pieces. I want to put the red outer edge next to a red inner edge and place those here. Now, those pieces will need to come from the top. Once a red edge piece is paired with a red outer edge, we'll move it either here or here. We'll turn this up, put it in place, and then put it down. That's going to be our first step. So let's do that. Let's pair up a red inner edge with a red outer edge and put it right here between the white and the red. The reason I'm building that up first is because that'll only leave us 3 pieces here to match. Rather than on the white side, if I were to put just this white inner edge, that would create many more pieces to build in order to place it. So let's say I want this piece to be here. Well, I want these both to be on the top, okay? These 2 pieces are on the top and we need to match them. The way we're going to match them isn't going to be using a red or orange face because it's only turning the outer layer. So we're going to use a white or yellow face to match these pieces. I notice here we have an outer red piece here. So if this was red, we'd be able to match this to it. So let's find our red edge piece here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way. Now I'm going to break this up for a minute, but then I'm going to replace it soon after. So I'm going to move this red piece down. And then I'm going to put this down, which is also going to break this, but we're going to return it. Alright, now we return this, matching these 2 pieces together. And now we return this so that we've kept our bottom cross intact, and we have our 2 red pieces paired up here at the top. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place them here by moving this up, put those 2 red pieces in place, and move it down. Now all that's left to do is find the white red edge piece and pair it with 2 white pieces. What I like to do first is pair up these 2 white pieces. Let me see here. So what's going to happen is, and this is important, is I want those, here we go right here. I want those white pieces to be on the top, because what I'm going to do is once those white pieces are on the top, I'm going to move this up so that remains intact. I'm going to place the white and red edge piece here, and it's going to go down and be solved. Now, it's not solved yet. I'm just kind of demonstrating what's going on here. This needs to be white. Now what I can do is I can move this to a face that'll turn these and match it to a white piece, which would be on the white or yellow side here, because this keeps these 2 pieces intact and we'll be able to match it. I'll need a white piece like this inner edge white piece here. So I'm going to move that to the top, move it out of the way, and put this back down. Keep our cross. I'm going to move it out of the way so that I can place that white piece here. So I'm going to move this up, place that white piece here, and put it back down. Now I'll be able to move these pieces next to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place these pieces here. Move it down. Now I'm going to return this side. Keep our cross. And now I'm going to return this side. And now we've matched up our white pieces with our white red edge. And we're going to turn it to the top with white being on top, because we've already paired up these red pieces and we're leaving those there. So this is on the top, move it out of the way, replace our cross. Now this is as easy as we're going to turn this up first, because we want to keep our cross, so we want to turn it up, put this in place, and then return it. And now when we return it, you'll notice that this is stationary and this will match right up. Alright, so let's try another edge. Let's try our red and yellow. And again, what I want to do first is pair up these two red pieces. When I'm working on these edges over here, I'll first pair up these orange pieces. So let's see. And we want them to come from the top. Here's an outer red piece which needs to be matched to an inner red edge piece. Here's an inner red edge piece. We're on a yellow face, so this is perfect. We'll be able to swing a outer red piece next to it. Put this here. Okay, we broke our cross, but that's okay, we're going to return it. We'll move this down. We return this side. And now we return this side. And there we've matched those two pieces. And then I put them to the top. Move it out of the way so that I can return this, keeping our cross. And of course, keeping the white yellow edge we've already built. So now we need to place these here. So we move it out of the way so that we can turn this up, move this into its place, and put it down. And now what's left to build is our red and yellow, and we want to pair up two yellow pieces before matching them to our red-yellow edge. It's very weird solving this while looking at the screen of my phone instead of the puzzle itself, so maybe I should do that. Alright, let's see here. What do we have? We have a yellow piece here, and this outer circle turns, so we can swing in an outer yellow circle and pair it up with this. Here's one over here. We don't really want to use that one because if we swing this face twice, then this will be on the top and we won't really be able to move it out of the way. So let's put this to the top. Well, we've already got one on the top. So that's easy enough. We put it over here like we've been doing and we move it down. And then we move the front face down. Then we return this. And we return this. And now we've paired those two pieces up. Since we've paired these pieces up, our next step is to find the red-yellow edge, and we're going to pair that up here. Now we're going to need to put these two pieces on a different face so that we can swing just the outer layer to match with these. So to do that, I'll put these on the top, move it out of the way, return this, keeping our pieces we've already made. So my plan is to put these two pieces down here on the orange face, and I'll move them out of the way so that I can swing this up, move these pieces into place and put them down. Now we can find our red-yellow edge and we'll be able to swing it over here next to these. So it's here. Above where it needs to go. It's the same move I've been doing. It goes down and then it moves out of the way. And we return this. And then it goes next to it here. Now we're going to put these yellow pieces to the top. Move it out of the way. And return this. Now that this is built, it'll just swing down into here. But we can't just do that because then we'll break up all the pieces we made. So we move it out of the way. We turn this side up, goes back over here, and now it slides into place. Since we'd already built these two red pieces, it swings right into place. Okay, let's do another one. We've got these two edges left. We're going to be building, first put in two orange pieces, either here or here. We're going to need to match these two orange pieces, probably using a different face. We may have to use the red face, but we're going to try not to disturb anything we've built. So just be mindful of that. Remember that these pieces on the top, very difficult to swing in here. They can't be moved, and that's why we're always putting stuff on the top. Now I notice here, look, we have two orange pieces right on the top here. So let's turn this up, move them into place, and put it down. And there we go. Now what we're building is we're going to build two white pieces, and then we're going to place those next to the orange-white edge, which is here. So we're going to build two white pieces. I notice this white piece moves here on the white face, so we need to put a white piece here so that it can match. We don't have any on the top. We have a piece here, but that's not one we can use because no matter which face we put it on, whether it's the orange, red, white, or yellow, it won't move. This is the piece we want. We want to match this to this. What we can do, let's see here, we got to be careful now, because if we do this and match these two, then we've broken an edge that we had over here. I do notice a white outer circle up here. So I think what I'll do is similar to what I've been doing. Now there are different ways to do this. Find what works best for you. I'll put this down and move it to the bottom here. Return this, and now return this. And those two pieces are matched up. We're ignoring this. That's inconsequential right now. Now that these two pieces are matched up, let's get them to the top, because we're not going to be able to use this face to swing in our final edge. Move that to the top, out of the way, return this side. Now we want to place our orange and white edge right here next to these. Let's see, and we're going to be using an orange or red face because we can turn just this outer layer. So let's put these two pieces, we're just worried about these two pieces, down to here. And we're not just going to put it down to there. What we need to do is move it out of the way, put this up, and then put it into place there. Again, now we do the same thing we've been doing. We're not worried about the orange right now because those two orange pieces are already solved here. We're going to move these two pieces out of the way. We move this out of the way. Return this. Return this. And now we swing this to the top. Move it out of the way and place it down. Now we are ready to slide that into place. And to do so, we move it out of the way, move this up, move that back, and now, there we go. All right, I thought I was going to fast forward, but this is good just walking you through the entire process. It'll be tricky once we get to the top. This was a really difficult thing for me to grasp the first few times I did it, but as you practice, it becomes easier. Alright, first thing, build these two orange edges right here. Let's see here. Okay, so first let's put in a big orange piece here. Here's one up here. Let's move this up. Put that into place. Now, here's the trouble is, see what I just did? I put that orange piece there, but we're not going to be able to swing in an outer orange piece on this face. So that's not going to be helpful. And this is, I think, a really tricky part is when you're dealing with the very last edge. So let's put that back to the top, move it out of the way. We're going to have to use this red face. Now, excuse me, we're going to use this yellow face. That's what we're doing. We're on the last edge. We can't use the orange face to build these two orange pieces. So we're going to use the yellow face to build these two orange pieces, put them back to the top, and then place them over here. So easy. Let's move this up and put this big orange piece, inner edge orange piece, down. Okay, now we have two outer orange pieces to choose from. Either one will work. It doesn't really matter at this point. I like to kind of put it above right here so that I put it down, move it down here, and now I return this and return this. And there we've built these two orange pieces. Now you will notice this edge piece is there, but don't mind that yet. We're focused on just these two orange pieces getting over here. So let's place them to the top, move it out of the way, and we'll move this out of the way so that we can swing this up and put those two orange pieces here and move it down. Alright, so we've put in these two orange pieces and we notice that we've also put this edge along with it, but that's okay because it's gonna move up and out of the way. So let's just move that out of the way to the top, because what we need to do is we need to match the yellow pieces next to it. And so we're going to build two yellow pieces now and then place it next to this yellow-orange edge. So how are we going to build two yellow pieces together? Well, we know that on our yellow side, we can place a yellow one here, and then we can swing a yellow outer circle next to it. So let's do that. We have two solved right here on the top. Let's move this up. Put those two yellow pieces together down here. Now we want to place this next to these two. We can't do it on this face. So let's, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I won't lie. It's tough. We're going to move these to the top now and then out of the way, return this. All right. We do want to keep these two together, and they will be together. But first, we're building this edge, and we'll replace these. But I always like to put them in first. It's a good habit. So let's move this out of the way so that we can turn this up and replace those two orange pieces we built with these two yellow pieces. Now we can pair. Where is it? Oh yes, here's our orange yellow edge piece. We're going to pair this up with these pieces. So this comes down, and it goes down, and we return this, and now we return this, and that's matched it up there. Now we're going to put the yellow to the top, and we're going to return our two orange pieces. Now that we've returned our two orange pieces, we notice that this yellow-orange edge group that we've made is ready to slide into place. So we move it out of the way, move this up, and there we go. And that's the first two layers of the edge pieces. We have our bottom cross and our middle edges, and we're on to the last layer. When building the four edges on the last layer, there are three important algorithms to think of. And each of those can be done from two different positions. The most important and one of the most fascinating ones is what appears to be a parity situation, swapping two edges, two small edges right here. And that's actually done by placing this blue face, which is my last layer, to the right. And we're going to swap these two pieces. Now it's important to note for this first step, I'm going to have the orange face on the top. It could also be the red face if you're swapping these two pieces. And if for example you need to swap these two pieces, then just turn them up to here so that red or orange is on the top. So from this position, I'm going to swap these two edges. That's R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime. And that's it. That's a golden ticket right there. That's such a simple yet powerful tool. I wish I had known that when solving the Crazy Planet series. I'll show you that one more time and we'll put it back. So the two pieces that need to swap are on the top and on the front right here. And we have red on top. Notice that this piece separates completely from these two. Next, I will show you when we have yellow or white on the top. But let's just do that one more time. R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime. Now, if we have yellow on top and we want to swap these two pieces with these two pieces, with yellow on top, R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime. So, yeah, what happened was we swapped these two pieces with these two pieces. And that's the difference when yellow's on the top compared to orange or red. So I'll do that one more time to swap these two pieces right here. R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime. All right, moving on. An important algorithm that's very familiar, that everyone knows, is the Sune. And the Sune comes in handy a lot here. Holding the puzzle like this, we're going to keep this edge the same. And we're going to cycle these three pieces right here. This blue with this blue and this edge piece right here. We're going to do a counterclockwise cycle with the three pieces on the back and the three pieces here. R, U, R prime, U, R, 2U, R prime. All right, and that's going to come in handy. So all right, and so that was with orange on the right, orange or red on the right. Now if we have white or yellow on the right, we are going to be three-cycling this group of four pieces, including this circle piece down here, this outer circle piece, not the outermost, but 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and we'll do it again. It'll counterclockwise those three groups of 4 pieces: R, U, R prime, U, R, 2U, R. And as you can see, okay, the next move is we have our blue on top, and we're going to start by putting red or orange on the right side. And this is little r, which is these two right layers, U, capital R prime, U, capital R, 2U, little r prime, both right layers down. Now what happened here, keep in mind this back edge stayed the same. And the left top two pieces here, when we're on the last layer, these four blue edges nearest to the center will always stay in place. So these two pieces just slid over to the right. The two pieces on the left here, the left edge and the left outer circle piece, just slid over to the right. And the right two edges that were here, these two pieces, flipped and came to the front. And the two pieces that were on the front face flipped and went to the left. All right, and now I'm going to show you what that looks like when we have yellow or white on the right side. That same move, lowercase r, two layers, U, R prime, U, R, 2U, little r prime, both layers. Now what happened is the two pieces on the left face here, this edge and this outer circle piece, slid to the right. The white, blue, and this white piece came from here and slid over to the right. The pieces that were on the right, these yellow blue edge and this yellow outer circle piece that were here, they were here, flipped and went to here. And the edges that were here on the top, it would have been the blue red and the blue outer circle piece, flipped and went to the left. So yeah, that's everything you'll need to know to solve the last layer edges. And I'll do a demonstration. We're at the last layer of the solve, at least putting the last four edges together. And I've shown you the useful algorithms to do. This is a very difficult part of the solve. It's tricky to explain. Ideally, we'd like to use one of those algorithms and quickly come up with our end result. First, we want all blue here on the cross, on the top. The sides will be easy to put in after we've gotten all blue. We want to get the puzzle into a configuration so we can use that kind of alternate Sune where we do a little R move like this. What the puzzle wants to look like, and I'll describe the situation we're looking for, is this blue piece. If this blue piece was over here, then that's a configuration we'd want on one of the edges. And then the other configuration is, since this blue piece would be here, that would be another edge configuration we'd want, where we have two blue pieces matching here and an edge piece matching with a blue piece here. This edge is in a good configuration. We want an edge with only a blue piece here on the outermost edge and not blue here and not blue here. And finally, if this piece was here, then that would be good. Then we would have two completely blue edges. We'd have a single blue edge, and then if we had a blue piece here, we'd have a pair of blue and a pair of blue here, and that would be a great configuration. Now, even if our two blue edges were across from each other, and no matter where these edges are that I'm talking about building, we could use a Sune to organize them to easily be able to solve it. This part's tricky because in my current configuration, I can't see the end. So what I'm going to do is, for example, if I were to do a Sune, I could move some of these around. I could move this to here, and then that would be a solved edge. The problem is this needs to flip for us to get a blue here. So let's just take the puzzle from any configuration and do our kind of alternate Sune move and see where we're at, and just keep going with it and see where we get to. So little r, u, r prime, u, r, 2u, little r prime. All right, let's see here. This is a good edge. We like that edge. If we moved this piece, this would be a good edge. Like I said, we need an edge with only a single blue here. So maybe if we move this, this is good. These two edges right here are in a good configuration. We need an edge that looks like this with a pair of blue, and we need an edge like this that has a single blue here. It's only these two edges that we need to change. So let me have a look at this here and see what needs to be done. Let's hold it here and do our kind of alternative Sune move. Yeah, let's do it here with orange or red on our right. Let's see here. Little r, u, r prime, u, r, 2u, little r prime. I'd really like to get two edges on top that look like this that are completely blue. Again, this is a good edge. This is a good edge. It'd be great if that little blue was up here. Yeah, this is tricky. Let's see here. Let's do that move again with a yellow on the right. Little r, u, r prime, u, r, 2u, little r prime. All right, so I have two completely blue edges, which is good. This can be moved to here, and then that would be good, and then these three would be complete, and this is good. This is in a configuration we want. So I think we can do it from here. We're gonna do a Sune move. We're gonna keep this at our front so it's unaffected, and we're gonna Sune this little blue outer circle piece, and we're gonna bring it to here, and then we'll be good to go. So we don't want to use this as a right side. We want to use this as our right side. So it's going to move these pieces counterclockwise. Okay, perfect. R, U, R prime, U, R, 2U, R prime. Excellent. This is the configuration we're looking for. We have an edge like this, an edge like this. We have an edge with just a single blue here, and we have an edge that's paired up with blue here and blue here. So this is the configuration we want it in. Our next step is now we're going to use the Sune to position these so that on our next move we do the alternative Sune move, and that'll solve the puzzle. We want these two next to each other. So we can hold it like this, so this will be unaffected, and let's Sune these pieces around. Now we're gonna check, yes, we do want yellow on the right because we do want to be moving these pieces too when we do our Sune. We don't want to break up what we've worked so hard to get, so we're using yellow or white on our right. And we're gonna preserve this and just Sune these pieces around. R, U, R prime, U, R, 2U, R prime. All right, excellent. Now, depending on where these edge pieces are, you might have this configuration over here and this configuration over here is how we do that little r Sune move. So let me just look at my sheet really quick. Our solved pieces will be on the back and on the left. And if we have this double blue configured edge on our right, yeah, then we want a yellow or white face on our right when we do this move, and that's going to solve all the top blue pieces. If our configured edge that looked like this with the double blue was on the front and this edge was on the right, then we'd place red or orange as our right side. Okay, so this solved edge, these blue pieces are on our left, these blue pieces are on our back. We have our double blue here on the right, and we have our single blue edge on the front, and we have yellow or white on the right. So we do little r, u, r prime, u, r, 2u, little r prime. And that's it. That's one of the hardest parts of the solve. The next part is pretty easy. We're just going to use a Sune move to pair these up. Take note, when you are doing the last layer, you can use a Sune, and you can also use the move I showed you, which swaps two edges, and that'll help you bring that configuration. So let's see here. Let's see if we have anything solved. No. Nothing's solved, that's okay. Let's do a Sune move to bring this little yellow piece over to here, and that'll bring this little orange piece over to here, and that'll solve a couple of pieces. Let's see here. Let's use white as our right face so we can bring these pieces above where they need to go. So we'll just do a Sune, R, U, R prime, U, R, 2U, R prime. Let's do it again. That didn't exactly do what I wanted it to do. Oh yeah, because it was going counterclockwise, not clockwise. So we'll do it one more time. See, we're moving this group of pieces, group of 4 pieces around. Blue stays on top. R, U, R prime, U, R, 2U, R prime. All right, that's paired up. That's great. And that's paired up. Perfect. These two need to swap. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our little parity type algorithm for these two pieces, and we're going to make sure that in this case we want white on the top. And our two pieces, we're trying to flip these two right here. So we're going to do R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime. All right, and now you'll notice that these pieces are all paired up, and we just need to move around these top layers, and so we can just do a Sune move. We want to use yellow, orange or red for our right side, and we could do a Sune, and let's see where things will go. Okay, this will go counterclockwise. That'll go here. This will go here, and this will swing over here. That doesn't solve anything. Let's see. Here we go. Let's do it this way. Let's bring this orange and blue to here. That'll go to here, and this will come over here, and that'll solve two pieces. We want red on the right, since we're only dealing with the top layer now. So R, U, R prime, U, R, 2U, R prime. All right. These two edges are completely solved, and now it's just swapping these two top pieces. So we hold it on the top and the front on the right here, and for our top layer we want it to be red, because red or orange, because we're only swapping these top pieces. So let's do our move. R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime. And that solved our edges. Oh. To reiterate, this is the configuration we're looking for when getting blue on the top on our cross. Is we want two edges with all blue on the top and no blue on the sides. We want an edge piece where we have two blues matched here and two blues matched here, and an edge piece where we only have blue here. In this configuration, where our solved two blue pieces are on the back and on the left, and we have on the front, we have our two paired blue pieces and our single blue on the right. We want orange and red, orange or red on the right side, and we'll do our Sune move. Keep in mind that if, say, this edge right here was over here, you would just do a Sune move using white or yellow on the right to cycle these three groups of edges around so that you could come up with this configuration. So let's solve this. This wasn't in the previous video I showed, so let me just show this. So our solved pieces are on the back and the left, and we have these pieces on the front. We want orange or red on our right side, and we do that little r Sune move. Little r, U, R prime, U, R, 2U, little r prime. And that'll get that cross on the top. And I'm confident that you'll be able to use the Sune and the alg to swap edges to finish the sides. So let me show you how to put in the corners. We're gonna start with green on the bottom, and we're gonna pick a front face. So I'll pick red as my front face, and I'll keep that as my front face and keep green as my bottom face. And I'll be only using D moves, U moves, and R moves. And when I make R moves, I'll make an R move, and I'll turn the top, and then I'll make an R prime move. I won't ever be making 2 R moves or starting with R prime, and then you'll see what I mean. So let's find a corner on the top that belongs in the bottom. So for example, here is a green, orange, and yellow corner. So let's put it over here to our right, and we'll turn the bottom so it's above where it needs to go. So this is green, orange, and yellow. So here is where the green, orange, and yellow corner goes. So we do an R, and we turn this so it's out of the way, and we do an R prime. Now put it above where it needs to go. Then we can do an R, a U, and an R prime. Now that corner's in. So now we can move the bottom layer. And let's see if we have any more corners on top. Here's a green, yellow, and red. So we'll put that above here on our right side. And let's move the bottom so right here. Here is where the green, red, and yellow corner goes. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to put it out of the way for now so I can turn this up with an R, put it in place, and return it with an R prime. So that corner's in. So keeping red as our front face, and remember I'm only turning the right layer to place these. It's a rolling in technique. This is in the right place, but it's not oriented right. So let's move it to the top. Move it out of the way. I'm going to move it here so when I return this, it's in a good position now. Now I can move it out of the way. Turn this up with an R, and then put it into place and return it. Now we have one more corner to put in our bottom layer. So keeping red as our front face, we turn the bottom layer and we find the corner. Here it is. It's above where it needs to go. And that's going to be an R, U, R prime. And now we've solved all our corners on our bottom layer, our big corners. And what we'll notice is some of our edges are messed up. But that's okay. I'm going to show you how to fix this edge right here that got messed up during the process. What we're going to do is kind of an intuitive F2L move, where we pair up this corner with this edge right here and drop them in together. So let's see here how we can do that. I want to move this edge out of the way. Yeah. So what I'll do is I think I'll turn this up. So the intuitive F2L move, we place our corner on the top and we place our edge we want on the top. And let's see here. I think it'll be okay if I hold this on the left side here. So what I want to do is I want to this is a little tricky, a little bit tricky. Aha, here we go. All right, so what's going to happen is I'm going to move this out of the way, and then I'm going to swing this around so that when I return this, it'll be paired up next to it. All right. See how we've paired this edge to this corner? Drop it in just like you would on a normal 3x3. Out of the way. Oh, no. This is not a normal 3x3. You can't do stuff like that. So the way to do it on this puzzle is you just move it out of the way. You turn this side up. Can't do a sledgehammer move. You got to do this. And there we go. And that's that's got our first two layers, including the corners. And so the corners on the top is easy. It's just like you would on a normal 3x3. I promise these beginner method algorithms work well on this puzzle. Let's see if we have any corners. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. We have to fix what we have going on here. We have problems here. So we're going to do some Sune moves to fix our problems here. Yeah. So let's do a Sune move, and we'll bring this group of blue yellow pieces back over to here. R, U, R prime, U, R, 2U, R prime. Okay, this edge is solved, so we need to do our Sune again, and that'll fix those edges on the top. Let's make sure we're using yellow as our right side, so we move this entire group of pieces. R, U, R prime, U, R, 2U, R prime. Alright, so our edges are fixed. And now, you know, we've kept our big corners down here intact. Rest of our edges are good. See if any of these edges are in their solid position. This one is. So let's do a beginner move to cycle these edges counterclockwise. That'll be RI, D2, R, U, RI, D2, R, U, RI, D2, R, 2U, R prime, D2, R. Alright, notice how we've kept everything intact, and now all our edges, our big corners are in the right spot. We just need to orient them, and it's the same as on a beginner 3x3. RI, DI, R, D, RI, DI, R, D, RI, DI, R, D, RI, DI, R, D. And that's solved. So now we rotate the top, place another corner in this position that needs to be oriented. RI, DI, R, D, RI, DI, R, D. That's oriented. RI, DI, R, D, RI, DI, R, D. That's oriented. RI, DI, R, D, RI, DI, R, D, RI, DI, R, D, RI, DI, R, D. And that's our big corners. And all that's left now is the little corners. The next step is pairing up these small inner corner pieces so that they match. And we will start with a clockwise solution to cycle 3 small inner corner pieces. I'm going to do a setup move. This is going to be our front face. Is blue or green we want as our front face so that these inner pieces move. And we're going to be using yellow or white as our top face since these pieces are stationary. After we've paired up those little pieces, then we will use blue or green as our front, and after these are paired up, we'll use orange or red as our top, and see both of these pieces are stationary, and then we will cycle in these complete packages of pieces. If we want to just cycle these inner pieces, we'll use white or yellow as our front face because these outer corner circles move, and we'll find a face where they're stationary, which would be the orange or red. And so for now, we'll start with blue as our front face. And what we want to do is we want to cycle these small corner pieces, this small yellow to here, this small orange to here, and this red to here. And that'll solve two of our pairs. Placing this yellow here will solve this yellow pair, and this orange will come here solving this orange pair. We're not yet worried about placing it, though putting this here will solve that part of the corner, which is great. So the clockwise move, having one piece here and two pieces here on the back with our yellow on top, is R prime, F prime, L, F, R, F prime, L prime, F, M, which is towards, F prime, if this puzzle will loosen up, L, F, R prime, F prime, L prime, F, and then finally little r, these two right layers up like that. As you can see, this group of pieces is solved, this group of pieces is solved, and the piece that was here came down here. Now I'll show you the move when we want to rotate those small corner pieces, inner corner pieces, counterclockwise. I'm going to use this piece here, so I'm going to do a setup move to bring it to the green face. And now I'm going to move this up to here. Again, using green or blue as our front and white or yellow as our top face. I'm going to cycle these pieces counterclockwise now. This yellow piece will come to here, making a pair. This red will come to here, and this red will come to here, making another pair. The counterclockwise version of this algorithm. Again, with this here, instead over here, it was when we did the clockwise. L, F, R prime, F prime, L prime, F, R, F prime, M, middle layer towards us, F, R prime, F prime, L, F, R, F prime, and then we do a little L prime, taking these two layers on our left. And now we have to just undo our setup moves, but as you can see, this is now a pair, this is now a pair. So let's undo our setup moves. I'll show you how to cycle, to three-cycle three of these arches, these outer circle pieces on the corner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a setup move to bring this blue piece, because these are already solved, so I don't want to involve this, but I do want to involve this blue piece, and I want to cycle with these two pieces here. So I'm going to bring this up to here. And actually I want to do it counterclockwise. So I want it here so that this blue piece will go to here, this white piece will go to here, and this green piece will come down to here, and that'll have solved two corner groups. So I'm going to do the counterclockwise algorithm. And since we are just moving these pieces, white or yellow is on my front, where these pieces are free to move, and red or orange is on the top, where they're stationary. So the counterclockwise is the same as when we're moving the small inner corner pieces. The only difference is the faces we're doing it on. So counterclockwise, L, F, R prime, F prime, L prime, F, R, F prime, middle layer towards us, F, R prime, F prime, L, F, R, F prime, and then little L prime, these two layers away. And like I said, we've now matched up these two pairs. And so let's return our setup move. Lastly, I want to demonstrate how we will place these pairs, these pieces, once they've been grouped together into their place. And this is the final step. So after everything's been paired together, I'm just going to demonstrate this for you now, because I'm not going to do a complete solve, because I think this is all the information you'll need to solve this puzzle. Pairing these pieces up and then placing them will take several setup moves a lot, especially towards the end. Just remember the setup moves. I find it helpful to write them down and keep the same orientation of the puzzle so I don't get lost or confused. It can be easy to remember it if it's just a couple of setup moves, but any more than that can be tricky. So we're going to do a counterclockwise rotation of these two pieces to here. These two pieces will come here, and these two blue pieces, this group, will come down to here. And the way that we are moving these groups of pieces is with blue or green on the front and red or orange on the top, because these are stationary. And so the counterclockwise, L, F, R prime, F prime, L prime, F, R, F prime, M towards, F, R prime, F prime, L, F, R, F prime, little L prime. And that solved it. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. It was a lot of fun to make. It helped me understand this puzzle a little better. If you want to see more about pairing up these pieces, I suggest looking at Super Antonio Vivaldi's tutorial, though his color scheme is a little different, so keep that in mind. Thanks for watching.